So there's something that we fucked up. And I was walking down and you know, she grabbed me like this and she pulled this up and she saw this.
How were you able to do that?
I see someone taking action from two places. That's it.
What would you tell these people who might go down that rabbit hole?
Beautiful question. And I feel like my answer will shock you. Boom! Welcome back.
Hello.
We back, baby.
Hello.
Hello, Noor.
So interesting stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait for today's topic. You kept teasing me.
Yeah, because I've been thinking a lot. So I was thinking the past week about why my past self has been coming up. I've done like a lot of growing. So I have outgrown my past self. And yet at times I feel like I still cling onto the past Noor. Does that come up with you? And did you ever feel that?
Evolving in any area of my life, I've experienced that. You know, there's so many instances where my old ways of doing things, it's sticky. It's very sticky. It doesn't want to leave.
Exactly.
Right? So, but what exactly happened? What exactly happened that made you think about that?
As a female, I would say I used to objectify myself, you know? Like I need to, in terms of looks, like I need to look girly and cute or whatnot. And so I used to focus a lot about my outer shell. So like a thought that comes to mind would be, from my lower self, would be like, I need to lose weight, for example. Versus, that's how you were saying, like this thought, the same thought could go to Sharif, who losing weight might be beneficial for him in terms of his health. So it would be not a toxic thought.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when, or even if it's me, if the doctors told me like, you need to lose weight, Noor, because, you know, you have high cholesterol levels or whatnot. You know what I mean? So
you know, Noor, what's crazy is like the way you explain that, I see it. I see someone taking action from two places. That's it. There's only two places where someone actually takes action. It's either they're running away from something or they're running towards something. Okay? So it's just the carrot or the stick.
Okay.
And both are beneficial in different situations. So if, for example, someone's on the verge of dying and they need to lose weight, he should kick his ass into gear and start losing weight, or else he's dead. If the whole point of life is to stay alive and to experience life and to evolve and then evolve others, then he can't do this when he's dead, right? This fat person. So if that scare or that fear of dying kicks him into gear and makes him start to lose weight, then good, right?
Yeah.
But there are other occasions in different situations where if you keep running away from something, okay, if you keep taking action because you want to avoid, you know, a negative consequence, then you're not utilizing the gift of creation. And to create the life that you want, to create and become the highest and best version of yourself, it cannot come from fear. It cannot come from you running away from something. So in some situations, I would say running away from your past self is beneficial. But also understand that you must also begin to utilize not just running away from things, but running towards things. So what do you want to create? What vision of yourself can really pull you instead of the past version pushing you away?
Yeah. Could
Right.
you tell us, like, how does that come up with you? Like, I gave my example, which is like a nuanced example about like body image, but what's your example about like that dilemma of thinking your past self is coming into or getting into the way, or is it like your inner higher self telling you, no, Sharif, actually you need to do this? Like, do you have a dilemma?
I would say I experienced this so many times that, you know, just in the realm of, let's say fitness, let's keep it at fitness for now.
Okay.
In the realm of fitness, you know, almost my whole life, you know, I was never really fat. I was never really overweight. But what I really appreciate about my journey and what got me to becoming, you know, this, I would say someone that's pretty healthy. You know, I eat very good food. I supplement well. I train my body well. You know, what really got me to, you know, start thinking about health was, I would say, in grade 5 or 6. Okay. I remember I was walking down the stairs from, you know, I was in baccalaureate. This was before I went to King's Academy. So I was walking down to, you know, leave end school, whatever. And I had a girlfriend at the time. And I was walking down and you know, she grabbed me like this and she pulled this up and she saw this spot that I had on my head. Okay. And she was like, "Oh my God, Sharif, are you losing your hair?"
Yeah.
I was like, "No, there's no way. I'm in grade 5. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?"
Too early.
You know? So, and then I realized, you know, first of all, like this was from, you know, forceps, or at least my mom told me that. I mean, when I was born, I was too big and the doctor pulled me out with forceps. And so I have like these marks over here. But anyways, so, and then over the years, I started to realize, no, actually, my hair is thinning. Okay. So I was like, okay, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to know why this is happening. Okay. Am I doing something wrong with my health? Am I doing like, is it because I'm smoking? What is it? So that led me down the rabbit hole of, you know, really finding the perfect health protocol. Okay. It was this one thing, you know, this one thing. And pretty much you could say I was running away from losing my hair. But at some point, it stopped being about the hair. You know what I mean? So at some point, because like a lot of people would tell me, you know, to this day, they're like, "Yo, when are you gonna go to Turkey and get your hair done? You know, get a hair transplant?" I'm like, bro, like, it's not about the hair at this point. You know, it's about, you know, finding the root cause and a lot of people say it's genetics. I would say that genetics makes you more susceptible to certain things, but historically speaking,
It's not the cause.
humans weren't bald,
Yeah.
right? Humans weren't bald historically speaking. So there's something that we fucked up, okay,
Along the way.
that led to many of these ailments, diseases, whatever. So cosmetically, I don't care. Cosmetically, I don't care about my hair. My hair symbolizes something deeper, which is my health, to me at least. And so what really led me down that path to health was asking why, asking the question why, you know. And then if you keep tracing that down, I mean, at one point, obviously, when I was a kid, I was like, you know, if you were to ask me maybe 6 years ago, why are you eating healthy, whatever, I'd tell you, oh, because I don't want to lose my hair. You know. But now you ask me that same question and I'll give you a completely different answer. Okay, it's and my answer would be along the lines of, I want to sustain a healthy consciousness and a healthy way of living, a healthy operation. You know, my body is just, if you could see it like from a biohacker's perspective, that's my perspective. I want to be at the most optimal peak performance on this life, because it's almost like polishing the lens, right?
That's beautiful, honestly. You know what I realized? I realized that what stopped you, because I talked about this more than once. It's like, when do you not prescribe to, oh shit, I'm losing my hair, I need to do this, I need to do this. Me losing my hair means that, you know, your self-image goes down, means that, so I need to do whatever I need to do in order for me to stop it. You did not do that. You were like, okay, hold on a second. And you asked yourself, like, you listened to yourself with curiosity, and you handled it with compassion, and was like, okay, let me look into this from this lens, which I feel like was the key. So I guess what I'm asking is more about, how were you able to do that? You know, or what would you tell Sharif that was younger, or any other person that took it into a toxic way and was like, because I see a lot of this. I see guys who with losing their hair, they're losing their self-confidence, they're losing their, you know, their ability to be like, it's just hair. You know what I mean? They're stuck with the fact that, oh, I'm losing my hair and I need to get it back. And going to Turkey or So what would you tell these people who might go down that rabbit hole?
Beautiful question. And I feel like my answer will shock you. So, have you ever heard of the hero's journey?
Yes, but tell us more for those who haven't.
Okay, so if you've watched any hero movie where there's a main character and they want to reach a certain goal or save his princess from the castle, right? Or get to a level of money or fame, you will see a pattern that plays out in every single one of those movies. Okay. So the movie starts off with a hero, and they are pursuing this holy grail. Okay. Whether it's happiness, money, success, fame, more hair, whatever it is. Okay. They're pursuing that goal. And throughout the movie, this hero will come in contact with demons, basically. His innermost demons. Okay. And these are the threshold guardians. Okay. These are the guardians that basically are going to serve as a big obstacle on this hero's journey. Okay. So
like blocks.
Exactly. So the hero has two choices. Either to, look those threshold guardians in the face and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna continue my journey, and just head back home, head back to his village. Okay? That's one option. The second option, which is what I took, I guess, in this example, was I looked at those threshold guardians and I busted straight through them. Sometimes it was difficult. Sometimes I had to find a different route. Sometimes I had to, but I was determined to get to that holy grail. Okay. Now, on my pursuit and with my perseverance to get to this holy grail, okay, that pursuit itself changes the hero's perception and changes the hero's view of the Holy Grail. Okay. So you'll realize in all of these movies, if this hero gets to this point of money or fame, or he gets his girl back from the castle, whatever, he realizes that he has changed in this whole process, and so it doesn't even mean that much to him anymore. You know what I mean? And so that's why I say there was one point where I was like, you know what, like, even if I have a full head of hair or not, like, it's not even about the hair anymore. It's about a bigger goal, which is health, maintaining my health. Okay. And so I dropped that importance of getting that holy grail, because the pursuit to that holy grail changed my whole perspective. But the thing is, a lot of times people don't want to dive deeper and ask the right questions and go through those threshold guardians to see what's the deeper root behind all of this, right? And so they shy away. They go to Turkey. They're like, okay, fuck this shit. No, I'm going to Turkey. And then they get their hair done, and then they realize, oh, but I still feel bad about myself. Even with a full head of hair, I still feel like shit, because it was never about the hair. It was never about the hair to begin with. Okay, that was just it's just a symbol or a hint that wants to show you something deeper. And if you don't dive deeper, you're gonna go and cosmetically fix something, and it's not even gonna work. Okay, just like, I mean, when I say this, some of you that are watching right now might have read the book that's by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. It's called Psychocybernetics. And he was actually a surgeon that, he realized this one thing that, and I think this one thing is what pushed him to write this whole book. Most of his patients, he would perform surgery on them, cosmetic surgery, and fix their nose, fix their face, fix their eyes, whatever. And he realized that some of them did feel more confident after the surgery, but many of them didn't.
Yeah.
Many of them didn't, because it wasn't really about the hair. It was about, or the nose, or the cheeks, or the whatever. It was about something deeper within their psyche, within their self-image, that they attached to this external image of themselves, but it wasn't really external to begin with. And so that's what made him write this book about, you know, how to enhance your self-image, basically, which I recommend everyone read. I still haven't finished it, but very good book.
It's interesting. So what I got from that is like how looking at something externally or like on surface level and then going inwards. So like, as you have to do that compassionately, correct? As if you were like having this inner the dilemma where you're like, oh shit, I'm losing my hair, and be like, oh, but why is it of importance to you? And just like, I would say, like, having that internal fight wouldn't serve you as well, correct?
Yeah.
So it's more about, why is that important to you? What comes up to you when you think about that? Is that what you were getting into? Like,
basically,
about that book?
So I mean, basically the point I will close on is, if there's something about yourself that you don't like and you feel like you want to run away from, okay, or fix, which is everyone wants to fix something about themselves, right? Do that. Okay, do that. Run from the stick. There's a carrot and there's a stick. The carrot pulls you to take action. The stick pushes you to to take action. You know, feel that pain, feel that burn, and run away. You know, take action. Okay. But over time, if you really ask the right questions and you really, you know, dive deep into whatever you're trying to run away from, okay, you will begin to see the carrot. You will begin to see that thing that you want to create instead of that thing you want to run away from. So I guess the best way to put it is, embark on the hero's journey. You know, embark on the hero's journey, and you will meet those threshold guardians, and understand that if you run away from them,
they'll haunt you,
and they'll show up in many other areas in your life. So yeah, if you're motivated by fear right now, or maybe a lower self desire to fix something about yourself, listen to it and go ahead and take action from it. Don't demonize it. Don't demonize it, because that's just going to make the problem worse. So listen to it and then embark on the hero's journey. And eventually, if you take the right route, if you dive deep, you find the root cause, you're open-minded, you're skeptical, you're detached from outcome, you are, you know, I could just run down the list of the 10 Metasaurs.
Yeah.
You know, I could run down the list of the 10 Metasaurs that, by the way, if you haven't heard about it, we mention the 10 Metasaurs as a perfect framework for the perfect human being inside our community, the Hero's Den. But if you uphold these tenets, okay, on your hero's journey, you will eventually get the grail. You will get the girl, you will get the hair, you will get the money, you will get the fame, you will get the success. And you'll also realize that it wasn't really about this all along, you know? So
It will serve you in some type of way.
exactly.
So it's interesting because it will no longer be the goal, the main goal, but it will serve you. You will still take something by it. You will level up by looking into that insecurity or that desire.
Exactly. What do you think about this?
Good stuff, honestly. Interesting. I hope our listeners can relate to what we're saying, because it came up in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Hair loss, losing weight, gaining weight, self-image.
Yeah, we did actually. We mentioned a lot of things.
Yeah, that's because that's life, I guess. It shows up for people in all types of ways.
What do you think about this way of moving forward, though? Actually listening to the stick and not demonizing the lower self or the thoughts that might come up from your lower self. Like, do you think maybe that's a counterintuitive approach that maybe you...
No, not at all. I feel like it is the key, but it all depends on how. It's like you need not to be fixated on it, correct? It's not, it's about looking at the bigger picture instead of just being on this like one mind lens on hair loss.
Yeah.
About like just stepping out of it and just looking at it from different perspectives, correct?
Yeah.
So if you have the correct framework, then it would definitely help you. It would be like, okay, this is why that is coming up.
Yeah. I actually really want to say this because I mean, I want to throw shade on some big people, right? Because but then again, I don't know. I don't know where they're coming from, and I don't know why they're pursuing these things. Okay, but if you really think about it, if I could have the chance to sit down with Warren Buffett, for example, and ask him, why are you pursuing more money? As someone that has hundreds of billions of dollars, is it the sport of making money? Is that what's giving you fulfillment? But I have a small doubt that it might not be. It might not be the most fulfilling thing he could do with his time, right, is to make more money. I'm just assuming. I could be wrong, but I would assume that Warren Buffett could be a lot more fulfilled doing other things at this point. But if what I'm saying is true, he would be the perfect example of someone that has chased the Holy Grail, okay, and is fixated on getting more grails, more Holy Grails, okay, and to me that doesn't really depict the arc of a hero, unless he's doing it to serve some other greater purpose that's more fulfilling to him or his family or the world. You never know, right?
Yeah.
You never know. I don't know what his intentions are. But I hope that it is that he has not fallen into the trap of fixating on the grail too much, right?
Yeah, what I call it is subscribing, like subscribing to it and then just Why are you subscribing to this one mind goal? It's like more money, like whatever it is. Like, it's just this, when you get so fixated and like wanting that whatever goal it is, holding on to it, and you lose track of everything else, and you lose track of why it was important. So I think what we are saying, instead of hyping that thing up and then it being the only thing that you look at, actually making it smaller and then looking at it from a bigger perspective.
Understand maybe what's driving you to get more money, for example, if it's Warren Buffett we're asking.
Yeah.
Why is it that you're still pursuing more money at 90 years old? Okay. Like you long live Warren Buffett, but you might die soon. Like like why are you pursuing that money? If he's aware of that question and he's asked himself that question, and that question really fulfills him, okay, the answer really fulfills him and a greater purpose, then I guess obviously there's nothing wrong with it. But then again, like, who's to say that, you know, because there's many different levels of fulfillment, right? Maybe he doesn't even want to experience those higher levels of fulfillment. You don't know. Maybe he doesn't even want to experience them. Maybe he doesn't care about, maybe that level of fulfillment of more money, maybe that's what gets him going. But anyways, I don't want to dunk on Warren Buffett too much, but like I hope
like, also, like we said at the beginning of the video, it's also about habits, correct? Like maybe he's a creature of habit, and that's his routine. Money. Let's go.
It's his past self, maybe he's stuck in his past self. Yeah, that's I love how we brought it full circle. Yeah.
So any other thoughts?
Actually, I think one last thought would be, if you really think about and resonate with just embarking on the hero's journey and doing so in the most holistic way possible to evolve yourself, I invite you to join us in the Hero's Den at wentmeta.com. I mean, if you listened to us up until now, I think you really resonate with what we're talking about. And I mean, we're on a mission to bring this to everyone. Transform and evolve humanity, so in the most holistic way possible. So and this is not intellectual, you know, advice that we want to give. It's more of a visceral transformation, and to do that you must embark on the hero's journey holistically. So with that said, Noor, thank you for being here. Thank you, listener, viewer.
And we'll see you soon.
We shall see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.